let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to be analyzing in particular this player who uses Cammy. This is Big Pappy Sai. I'll just call him Sai for short. Is going to be going up against Ryu, and you can see, very, very low ranking here. So again, this is going to be a very beginner match here, and I'm going to try to, like I said, talk very philosophically at first as we watch this match. Now, because this is a beginner match, the first thing that I want to mention is that when you play Street Fighter, there is a tendency to do things that you think are right or that you see other people do, but you don't quite understand why they're doing it. So one of the trickiest things about fighting games is that, I've mentioned this before, and it's really, really almost kind of, it's hard to picture this, but whatever happens in a game, in a fighting game, at the highest level, when you have two people playing against each other, at the highest level, I would say 99% of the button presses have a point, have a purpose. And that is going to be one of the first things that you want to learn about fighting games. Is everything that you're doing on screen has a reason that you're doing it. It's why you have a goal in mind when you do it. And at some point in time, you start getting married to certain buttons. You start feeling super comfortable with buttons. And I'll show you that later on in these videos. I watched them before, so I already know some of the stuff that that's going to happen in these. So the other thing that you have to understand about fighting games are false successes and successful failures in a weird way. So these are two different things, right? False successes are probably the most dangerous thing in fighting games. And there's one very key example that you'll see throughout all three of these matches as I analyze them. A false success is when you're playing against an opponent who is also not particularly strong, and so they fall for something that you shouldn't be doing. And what happens is, because it's successful at the beginning level, you start to get married to this idea and you start relying on it, and it's actually very, very bad for you. Successful failures, on the other hand, of course, are situations where you did the right thing and you lost life anyway. You have to understand when it was still the right thing to do. It just happened to not work out at the time, whether the opponent accidentally did the wrong thing or the opponent just outguessed you, because that happens. But you can't let those failures be interpreted as you're doing the wrong thing. So that's the trickiest thing about fighting games. The feedback that you get in the game doesn't necessarily reflect what you should or should not be doing. So let's go. Let's watch this match here. So again, I'm gonna be. I might even go through these videos more than once, right? So it'll kind of be an analyzing what the Cammy player Sai is doing, and then also analyzing what you should be trying to read from your opponent. So let's watch it very much right now from Sai's point of view, the Cammy player. Now, also another thing, when you watch match footage, when you even watch streams and such, make sure when you watch it, it's very, 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 very helpful to have a rooting interest in one particular side. When you're watching matches, always pretend you're one of the players. Always pretend you're the Cammy, or you're the Ryu, or you're the Akuma, or whatever. And this is actually a problem during commentary, because sometimes I watch one player so long that everything I commentate comes out from their viewpoint, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, James, why are you so biased for this character, right? For this particular player?" It just happens because you're always watching from one perspective. But what you want to do is watch it from one player's perspective, because then when you watch it, just think like, okay, I would do this or I would do that. And then every time something happens that you did not expect, that is something to take note of. So you would be like, I wouldn't have used that jump attack. Or, oh my God, I totally would have poked and gotten an uppercut there too. you know, and watch it like that, because that way you have some grasp of what someone is doing that's unexpected or something's really smart. Like if you see them pull off a trick and you're just like, what the heck? I never would have done that there. That helps you as you watch matches grow as a player while watching. So honestly, that's one of a big advice that when you watch matches, try not to watch it like you're just seeing both characters there. Always watch it from a perspective. So this first run through, I don't know if I'm going to do a second one necessarily, but this first run through, I'm going to do it watching Cammy here. Okay, so let's go here. So, okay, that's already an interesting start right there. That's already an interesting start. I'm going to go back for a second here. Sorry, hang on a second. He rewinds the video a little bit here. There we go. So this is a very interesting start here. They both jump, and immediately Cammy does a jumping medium kick. Now, it hits, it connects, and actually it was the 100% correct button to hit because Ryu is above Cammy. So that's like the perfect button to hit at that time. But that's already kind of an interesting sign to me because Cammy just generally does not use jumping medium kick. That is not a button Cammy uses when jumping, right? So most of the time when you jump in the air and you go air to air and you're like, crap, I need to hit him before he hits me, you hit the first button that you just generally were planning to hit when you jumped. So in other words, if I'm planning to hit jumping roundhouse, if I see Ryu jump, I'm like, crap, hit roundhouse faster. Or if I was just happen to be trying to do jump short cross up and Ryu jumps, I'd be like, oh crap, jump short. In this case, Sai came out with jumping medium kick. Now that's already kind of a cause for concern. I'll get into that a little bit later. We'll see if that actually goes through. The Can of Nothing is asking, can we just watch the whole match first? Chat, let me know. If you guys, do you want to watch this whole match first and then I can go back and analyze it? Or do you want me to analyze it right away? What would you guys prefer to do? Do 1 to watch the whole match right away. Type 2 in the chat for if you just want me to start analyzing right away. Well, I already see people saying yes. Oh, watch first. Okay, this is not even a question. This is not even a question. Let's do it. Let's watch the match first. All right, and I'm going to be doing this without much commentary here. So we're just going to watch it, okay? I'm just going to watch it with you. Here we go. So, again, okay, start right now. And again, I want to remind people again, yes, this is a very beginner level match, but that's okay. That's okay. In fact, these are the kind of matches that I really want to help advice with because honestly, once you're already at the point where you're playing high level matches, you already understand Street Fighter. And I really honestly believe that Street Fighter is hardest at this level than it is at the higher levels. This is probably one of the most difficult places to get through in Street Fighter. So Sai actually takes a round here. Okay. Let's go with this last round here. And for those of you who have just tuned in, I'm just watching a match. This is a viewer submitted match. He wants me to analyze his video, and I'll be doing that, but the stream wanted to watch the entire match first. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Okay, so that's the match right there. So let's go back for a second. So my initial assessment of this match, right from the get-go, is that the Ryu player is stronger than the Cammy player. I do believe the Ryu player has a better idea of what's going on than the Cammy player. So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, like I said, I've already watched these videos, so there's a couple of things that I did want to point out. So let's start here at the beginning again, the jumping medium kick. Now, later on in the round, you probably saw he does use jumping medium kick again. So this is where starting to understand what buttons... Ramix asked, where would I classify when in doubt, chop it out for Yuri in high level? That's flow tactics right there, right? And that's actually pretty damn good. It's pretty good. Let's do this really quick here. I'm going to... I really shouldn't have chosen the same background. I did it to be cute, but now I think it's kind of confusing. But this is where you have to start understanding buttons for your character. Now remember, there are 6 buttons here, right? So we've got lights, mediums, heavies, and such like that. So even though the jumping medium kick hits, what you want to learn though is don't get comfortable with just a button that you just used. Now, if you're new to the game, yeah, that's fine. Pick pet buttons. I've talked about this in a previous episode before. You want pet buttons so that you have something to go to right away. Having a pet button is better than not having a pet button at all. However, eventually you're going to want to try to experiment with other buttons a little bit too. So you have this jumping medium kick like this. What you want to do every once in a while is experiment with other buttons instead and see how they work for you. So what happens is, for example, you use jumping medium kick, right? Start using, shout outs, thanks Ghost Dog for the sub. But what you want to do now is start looking at other buttons. So for example, jump fierce, right? Now, some of the things you might not understand is why certain buttons are better than others. And once you've played a lot of fighting games, you start to understand that. So what is it that makes jumping fierce better, or jumping roundhouse? Okay, sorry, let me go back a little bit. This is something that I've been trying to fix on my commentary as well. This is really, really hard to try to break 20 years of habit. Okay, let's start over again. Now, what is it that makes jumping heavy punch or jumping heavy kick significantly better than jumping medium kick? Why is jumping medium kick not a good button? Well, the reason why is because if I hit it right when I start my descent in my jump, you notice how far Cammy has to drop, and you notice that the kick aims kind of upwards. Now, as you play a lot more Street Fighter, you'll start discovering that the better buttons when you're jumping against a grounded opponent typically are buttons that hit downwards. So for example, if I hit jumping heavy punch on the start of my way down, you'll notice I actually punch Ryu in the head. When I hit jumping medium kick, it misses. Heavy punch, medium kick. You notice that medium kick misses. Now this, again, this will come later. It's fine if you have a pet button, but every once in a while try other buttons to see if they work better for you. And you'll start to find out that there are different reasons to use different buttons. Heavy punch, for example, has no range. Woo! But jumping heavy kick, better range, right? So from here, jumping heavy punch will miss most likely, like so. So if I stand at this distance, heavy punch misses. If I stand at this distance, heavy kick hits. So heavy kick, you'll discover, has better range. Jumping heavy punch has better range downward. And jumping medium kick, not a particularly strong button. So one of those things that you're just going to have to pay attention to as you go. But that's not a critique of what just happened in the match. That's more of just a critique of learning to test other buttons. There are 6 buttons in the game, and there's a very good reason why there's 6 buttons. Because a lot of moves serve different purposes. Alright, so let's go back to this here. Let's rewind just a little bit, and we'll see that jumping medium kick. Okay, so watch. Jumping medium kick. So he just happened to hit it, but it hits. Now, he does a cross under here, which I like, and it hits. But here's the thing. You'll see that nothing happens afterwards. He does standing light punch into crouching medium kick. One of the trickiest things about fighting games is that the way fighting games work is that when you're playing, if you're only paying attention to this moment, the moment that exactly is on the screen right there at the time, you won't be successful in fighting games. The thing is, I'm not even sure if he did the cross under on purpose. It might have been something that we've seen before, so if so, that's great. But here's the thing. Once you've gotten the successful cross under, let's say, okay, let's rewind this back. Here's the best way to point it out. Let's say you hit with this jumping medium kick here, like this. At this point in time, you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to cross under and hit him from the other side. And if that's all you're thinking, then that's already a problem. What you have to be thinking is, I'm going to hit him, I'm going to cross under him, and here's my hit confirm combo, and if he blocks it, I'll stop it, but if he gets hit by it, I will finish my combo. And my combo is going to be standing medium punch, crouching medium punch, into drill. That should already be in your brain at this point in time if your intention is to cross under them, walk under them, and get them to block the other direction. You should already know what you want to do. That is one of the key things about fighting games, is that you're not just looking at the moment right there. You've already started thinking about way ahead of what's going to happen. And that's one of the key things to fighting games. So, if he did intend to cross under here and hit, he went with stand jab. Now he hits with stand jab, but he doesn't get anything out of it. Because stand jab, crouching medium kick is not a combo. This was just something that he chose to do, right? This is just something that he was like, I'm just going to do standing jab into crouching medium kick. Now, some people in the chat are saying that too much thinking could be a problem, or so many thoughts, etc., etc. I know a lot of them are joking, but here's the thing. The more you play the game, the more these things will automatically be in your head. I'm going to hit with that jumping medium kick, and already my brain's like, okay, it's cross under scenario. This is my standard cross under combo. And it'll all get recalled super fast. That comes through repetition. That comes through practice. That comes through knowledge. And so you won't have to make that all up on the fly. You'll just already know what to do as soon as the situation arises. So that's the best thing about that. Right, exactly. So the Burnt Cheeto says you're not really actively thinking, and that's absolutely true. Yeah, there's a plan that you have in the background while playing. Exactly, exactly. So here we go. So he's going to hit with this crouching medium kick. And then he just goes into the drill. I think this was just a, I just think this was a flub combo. I think he just meant to crouching medium kick into drill. Flub combo, that's fine. That happens. That happens. And you can't fault anyone for that. So here we go. Back to this match here. Now, you know, very common situations here is that your anti-air is not going to be on point when you're learning fighting games. So again, I can talk about what you should be doing, what you're supposed to be doing at the highest level, but unfortunately that's not really going to help too much in this particular situation, because the players are at a beginning enough level that if I say, you know what, this is what you should be doing at the high, this is what Justin Wong, this is what K-Brad would do, like that doesn't help you, right? So you're not going to anti-air some jump-ins and you're just going to get thrown. That's fine. But the key is that, you know, you get thrown here. Okay, I like that. Get up and escape. So he gets out of the situation there and gets away. Now here's probably the first instance of I talked about a little bit earlier, two concepts that are very, very, very important in fighting games. One, which is the successful failure, which is something that you did was the right thing that you did and then it got beat. And so even though you got beat, it's still the right thing to do, so you have to accept that. But then the other one was the false success. The false success is one of the key things. It didn't hit there, but I'll show you later on. The crouch roundhouse is a problem right there. That crouch roundhouse is a problem. But the opponent jumps in, gets the combo, he lands here, and then he lands with a back medium punch. So again, here's a situation here. Probably didn't mean to do a back medium punch. Probably meant to do a neutral medium punch, but was just holding back. And when he landed, hit medium punch. And that just kind of came out the wrong way. So I'm not going to worry too much about that one. But here's a key situation here. Blocked the sweep. Blocked the sweep and nothing. Nothing, right? This is crucial here. This is where understanding frame data helps. And yes, frame data is super high level stuff. Like by the time you're starting to go in and crunching numbers like, oh, this move is -10 and this is +2 and I could do frame traps with it. Like by the time you've gotten there, you already know, you have a good grasp of Street Fighter already if you already understand that. Oh, arrow keys. Okay. So the key now at this point in time though is just trying to figure out things that are punishable. Now, if there's no one to tell you, then it's hard, right? But there are certain universal truths to Street Fighter V. One, that all sweeps are punishable. Every single sweep in this game is punishable. And if you at least recognize what your opponent's sweep move is, you should know that you should be able to punish it. So what you want to do, James the Powerhead asks, I have that good grasp, but I suck anyway. Do you mean a frame data? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. You have a good grasp on what? But in this particular situation, you have to know that you can punish sweeps. Now, if you're not sure how to punish the sweep, this is where you start going into training mode. So if you are having trouble, if you want to find out if a move is punishable or not, go to training mode and find out. Now, one of the most useful things right here is player recording. You can create the action of a recording here. And so I can record Ryu walking up and sweeping, right? And that's all I'm gonna record. And key thing is, whenever you do a recording like this, I'll show you again. Make sure you keep holding down back afterwards because you want him to try blocking, right? You want him to try blocking. So then go over here, set the player to be a playback, and now every time I play back, he'll be walking forward and sweeping. And you can see that I'm holding down back, but it's very easy to punish him with pretty much anything, especially if he sweeps at point blank range, right? Obviously. So another tip, this is just a common tip here in training mode. Whenever you make a recording, try to make the recording from reset stage standpoint, because whenever you do it, so like for example, go to restart battle and then restart battle, and then immediately go to player recording and start recording, because it's nice to always know where you guys are at the beginning, because it'll be different distances every time. So let's walk up and sweep from that range, and I completely failed because he was too far. So now let's do this again. And then hold down back like that. So I'm sweeping from a little bit further range now, right? So let's turn on number 2 here. And then let's go to reset the stage. So now he's going to sweep from a little further range, right? Now it's time to test what can I punish with. And you'll notice, like, you can, like, this is your favorite button. Crouching medium punch is your favorite button, right? You block this, and you can't hit him back. Okay, well, sweeps are usually far, so let's do sweep. Okay, so that punishes, right? But crouching medium kick punishes, so that means I should be able to crouching medium kick into drill. Crouching fierce punishes. So you start finding out these things, right? So if you test it in training mode, you will be able to find out things are punishable or not, if you don't know. In this particular case, if you're a brand new player coming into the game and you don't know what's punishable or not, you're not even sure the concept of punishing. Like, you block the sweep and it's just like whatever, and then you just keep playing because you don't even understand the concept of punishing something on block. That's just something you're gonna have to learn through playing, practicing, talking with people, and listening to commentary. I've often said that before, like after a sweep, like it's blocked, I'll be like, oh, he didn't punish the sweep. You know, like when you hear me say stuff like that during commentary, I'm saying that specifically, and yeah, it's obvious what happened on the screen. All the top players know that he should have punished the sweep. But again, if you're a beginner, and I've said this many, many times, my commentary is geared towards beginners, that's something to pay attention to when you hear me say. If I point out that, oh, he should have punished the sweep, then that's a signal for you to understand that sweeps are punishable. So that is something that you're going to have to learn as you keep playing it. So, okay, so learn to punish that. So that's just one thing to understand. So right there in that match that we were just watching, in that match that we were just watching, he did not punish the sweep. Okay. So right here, there. Should have been a punish, did not punish it. It's minor thing, minor thing.